Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, variant 2, May-June 2020. Let's get started. Paul has a set of 8 cards, each with a number written on it. The numbers on the cards are 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, and 5. One card is taken at random. Write down the probability that the number on the card is 1. This probability is equal to the number of cards with a 1, which is 2, divided by the total number of cards, which is 8. 2 over 8 simplifies to 1 over 4. Write down the probability that the number on the card is an odd number. This probability is equal to the number of cards with an odd number, which is 6, divided by the total number of cards, which is 8. 6 over 8 simplifies to 3 over 4. Write down the probability that the number on the card is a prime number. This probability is equal to the number of cards with a prime number, which is 5, divided by the total number of cards, which is 8. Write down the probability that the number on the card is a number less than 6. This probability is equal to the number of cards with a number less than 6, which is 8, divided by the total number of cards, which is 8. 8 over 8 is 1. Dinah has a set of 12 cards. These are the numbers on the cards. Work out the median. First, we need to arrange the numbers in ascending order. To get the position of the median, we use the formula half n plus 1, where n in this case is 12. This gives us 6.5. This means the median is between the 6th and 7th numbers. The 6th number is 2 and the 7th number is 3. So the median is 2 plus 3 divided by 2, which is equal to 2.5. Work out the mode. The mode is the number that appears the most, and that is 3. Work out the mean. The mean is equal to the total sum of the numbers on the cards, which is 1 times 3 plus 2 times 3 plus 3 times 4 plus 4 times 2, divided by the number of cards, which is 12. When we type this into the calculator, we get 2.42 rounded to 3 significant figures. Work out the range. The range is equal to the card with the highest number, which is 4, minus the card with the lowest number, which is 1. 4 minus 1 gives us 3. Helena has a different set of cards. She takes one card at random and records the number shown. She does this 50 times. The results are shown in the table. Calculate the mean of her results. The mean is equal to the total sum of the numbers on the cards, which is 1 times 8 plus 2 times 11 plus 3 times 10 plus 4 times 9 plus 5 times 12 divided by 50. When we type this into the calculator, we get 3.12. Jeremy goes on holiday. He parks his car in the airport car park from 10 o'clock on Tuesday 17 July to 17 o'clock on Saturday 28 July. The car park charges are shown below. Find the total cost of parking his car. Here are the days Jeremy leaves his car at the airport. There are 9 weekdays and 3 weekends in total. So the total cost for parking his car is equal to 9 times $14 plus 3 times $8. This gives us $150. At the airport, Jeremy buys a ring for $53 and a watch for $65. Work out how much change he receives from $120. The change he receives is equal to the amount he pays, which is $120, minus the cost of his purchase, which is $53 plus $65. This gives us $2. The plane flies from Melbourne to Tokyo at an average speed of 783 kilometers per hour. The distance from Melbourne to Tokyo is 8,352 kilometers. The plane leaves Melbourne at 9:52 local time. The local time in Tokyo is 2 hours behind the local time in Melbourne. Find the local time in Tokyo when the plane arrives. First, we need to find the time duration for the journey, which we can get using this formula. The distance d between the two cities is 8,352 kilometers. The speed for the journey is 783 kilometers per hour. This gives us 10⁻³ hours. To convert 2/3 hours to minutes, we multiply 2/3 by 60, which gives us 40. So we know the time duration for the journey was 10 hours 40 minutes. To get the time the plane arrives, we add 10 hours 40 minutes to the departure time, which was 9:52. Under the minute column, 52 plus 40 is 92. 60 minutes is 1 hour, so we add 1 to the hour column and leave the remaining 32 minutes under the minute column. Under the hour column, 1 plus 9 plus 10 is 20. 20:32 is the local time in Melbourne. To get the local time in Tokyo, we subtract 2 hours from 20:32, which gives us 18:32. In Tokyo, Jeremy buys a bracelet for 2,050 yen. The exchange rate is 1 yen equals $0.0125. Calculate the price of the bracelet in dollars. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. Using the given exchange rate, we want to find the price in dollars of the bracelet, which is what we are calling X. When we cross-multiply and make X the subject, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, this is what we have, which is approximately $26 rounded to the nearest dollar. The plane ticket costs $680 plus a tax of 16%. Find the total cost of this ticket. The total cost of the ticket is equal to $680 plus the tax, which is 16% of $680. This gives us $788.8. Bell records the height in centimeters and the mass in kilograms of some goods. Some of her results are shown in the scatter diagram. The table shows 4 more results. Plot these points on the scatter diagram. On the grid, we've plotted the points 23 31.2, 30 33.5, 36 34.6, and 38 34.8. What type of correlation is shown in this scatter diagram? From the scatter diagram, we see that as the heights of the goats increase, there is a general increase in their mass, and so this type of correlation is positive. Draw a line of best fit on the scatter diagram. On the grid, we've drawn a line of best fit. The general rule of thumb for drawing a line of best fit is to ensure that it passes through as many points as possible while balancing an equal number of points above and below the line. Use your line of best fit to estimate the height of a goat with mass 32.5 kilograms. On the grid, when we map 32.5 kilograms from the vertical axis onto the line of best fit, we get the height to be 27 centimeters. Work out the percentage of the 12 goats that have a height between 26 centimeters and 35 centimeters. First, we need to find the number of goats that have a height between 26 centimeters and 35 centimeters. On the grid, we see that the number of goats in this region is 5. So to get the percentage, we have 5 divided by 12 times 100%. This gives us 41.7% rounded to three significant figures. Alexa, Ben and Chloe own a restaurant. Alexa records some temperatures. Find the difference in temperature between the fridge and the cool box. The temperature difference is equal to the higher temperature, which is the temperature of the fridge, 4 degrees Celsius, minus the lower temperature, which is the temperature of the cool box, negative 3 degrees Celsius. This gives us 7 degrees Celsius. Find the difference in temperature between the cool box and the freezer. The temperature difference is equal to the higher temperature, which is the temperature of the cool box, negative 3 degrees Celsius, minus the lower temperature, which is the temperature of the freezer, negative 19 degrees Celsius. This gives us 16 degrees Celsius. The temperature in the cold room is 5 degrees Celsius lower than the fridge. Find the temperature in the cold room. To get the temperature in the cold room, we subtract 5 degrees Celsius from the temperature of the fridge, which is 4 degrees Celsius. This gives us negative 1 degrees Celsius. Alexa, Ben and Chloe share the profits from their restaurants in the ratio 2:6:7. 1 year, the restaurant makes a profit of $60,000. Work out how much each receives. The amount Alexa receives is equal to the ratio share for Alexa, which is 2, divided by the total ratio of 2 plus 6 plus 7, which is 15, times $60,000. This gives us $8,000. The amount Ben receives is equal to the ratio share for Ben, which is 6, divided by 15, times $60,000. This gives us $24,000. The amount Chloe receives is equal to the ratio share for Chloe, which is 7, divided by 15, times $60,000. This gives us $28,000. They invest $12,000 at a rate of 10% per year simple interest. At the end of 3 years, the value of the investment is $12,900. Find the value of N. For simple interest, the total value of the investment is equal to the principal P plus the total interest earned, which is I. We can get I using the formula PRT over 100. We've been given the total value of the investment to be $12,900. The principal is $12,000. The time T is 3 and the rate is N%. 12,000 times 3 divided by 100 is 360. When we subtract 12,000 from both sides, we get 900 equals 360N. And when we divide both sides by 360, we get N equals 2.5. Find the value of T when A is 4 and B is 5. When we plug in A equals 4 and B equals 5 into the given equation, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 240. Multiply out the brackets. When we expand the brackets, x times 3 is 3x. X times negative 5x is negative 5x squared. Factorize fully. 5x minus 20x squared. The terms have a common factor of 5x. When we factor out 5x, we are left with 1 minus 4x. Find an expression for the perimeter of this triangle. Give your answer in its simplest form. The perimeter of the triangle is the total distance around the shape of the triangle. So the perimeter is equal to 3a plus b plus 4a minus 5b plus a plus 2b. When we group like terms, 3a plus 4a plus a is 8a. b minus 5b plus 2b is minus 2b. So we have 8a minus 2b. The diagram shows a cuboid. On the 1 cm square grid, complete the net of the cuboid. One face has been drawn for you. A cuboid has 6 faces. 2 of the faces would have the dimensions 6 cm by 2 cm. Another 2 of the faces would have the dimensions 6 cm by 3 cm. And the remaining 2 faces would have the dimensions 2 cm by 3 cm. We can start by drawing the base of the cuboid, which has dimensions 6 cm by 2 cm. The base would be connected directly to the other 4 side faces. At the top and bottom, it will be connected to the side faces with dimensions 6 cm by 3 cm. One of these has already been drawn for us. On the sides, it will be connected to the side faces with dimensions 2 cm by 3 cm. The top of the cuboid with dimensions 6 cm by 2 cm can be connected to any of these sides. In this case, we have enough space to connect it at the bottom. A cube has a surface area of 384 cm squared. Find the length of one of its sides. Here is the formula for the surface area of a cube. When we make the length L the subject, this is what we get. We've been given the area to be 384 centimeters squared. This gives us 8 centimeters. The diagram shows a right-angled triangular prism. Work out the volume of the prism. Here is the formula for the volume of a prism. The cross-section of the prism is a triangle. The area of the triangle can be found using the formula half base times height, where the base is 7 centimeters and the height is 4 centimeters. The length L of the prism is 12 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 168 centimeters cubed. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle. Find the value of x. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. The sum of the angles in a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. So we have 70 plus 2x equals 180. When we subtract 70 from both sides, we get 2x equals 110. And when we divide both sides by 2, we get x equals 55. The diagram shows two pairs of parallel lines. Find the value of A, the value of B, and the value of C. These two are alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal, so A is 32. These two are interior angles. Interior angles add up to 180 degrees, so we have B plus 32 plus 50 equals 180. When we make B the subject, we get B equals 98. These two are alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal, so C equals 32 plus 50, which is equal to 82. The diagram shows a rectangle, 14 centimeters by W centimeters. The diagonal is 23 centimeters. Calculate the value of W. To get W, we apply the Pythagoras theorem. This gives us 23 squared equals 14 squared plus W squared. When we subtract 14 squared from both sides, we get W squared equals 333. When we take positive square root of both sides, this is what we have, which is equal to 18.2, rounded to 3 significant figures. The diagram shows a square with vertices on the circumference of a circle center O. The radius of the circle is 6 centimeters. Work out the shaded area. To get the shaded area, we subtract the area of the square from the area of the circle. The area of the circle is pi r squared, where the radius r is 6 centimeters. The area of the square is L squared. We need to find L. To get L, we apply the Pythagoras theorem. This gives us L squared equals 6 squared plus 6 squared. When we make L the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to root 72 centimeters. So we have root 72 centimeters all squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 41.1 centimeters squared, rounded to 3 significant figures. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at triangle A and its image triangle B, we can tell straight away that this is a rotation 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For a 90-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We draw a line to connect at least two corresponding points on both triangles A and B. Then we need to draw the perpendicular bisectors of these lines. The intersection point of the bisectors is the center of rotation. In this case, the point is the origin. And so the full description for the transformation is rotation 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the origin. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. When we look at triangle A and its image triangle C, we can tell straight away that this is a translation because both triangles have exactly the same size and orientation. The only difference is that they are located on different parts of the grid. So now all we need to do is find the translation vector. From the illustration, we see that the translation vector is -6, -3, and so the full description for the transformation would be translation by the vector -6, -3. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle D. When we look at triangles A and D, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 3 because each of the sides of the image, which is triangle D, is 3 times its corresponding side in triangle A. This is a positive scale factor because both triangles have the same orientation. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. We can get this by connecting at least two corresponding points on both triangles. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement. In this case, we get the center to be 6, 4. And so the full description for this transformation would be enlargement by a scale factor of 3 about the center 6, 4. On the grid, draw the image of triangle A after a reflection in the line y equals -1. So first, we draw the line of reflection which is y equals -1. Then from here, we need to reflect the vertices of triangle A in the line y equals -1. So for point B on the triangle, since we move 2 units downwards to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 2 units downwards from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point B. We need to repeat the same process for points A and C on the triangle as well. When we are done, we are able to map out the reflected image of triangle A. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 3x minus 6. When we plug in x equals -2 into the equation, we get y equals 4. For x equals 0, we get y equals -6. For x equals 1, we get y equals -8. For x equals 2, we get y equals -8. For x equals 3, we get y equals -6. And for x equals 5, we get y equals 4. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus 3x minus 6. For x is greater than and equal to -3 and less than and equal to 6. On the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Write down the equation of the line of symmetry of the graph. The line of symmetry of the graph is the line that splits the graph into two mirror halves. On the grid, we see that this line is x equals 1.5. Use your graph to solve the equation x squared minus 3x minus 6 equals 0. To solve this equation using the graph, we need to find the x values of the points of intersection between the graph and the line y equals 0, which is the x-axis. On the grid, we see that the x values of these points are negative 1.4 and 4.4. Solve these equations. 5x equals negative 30. When we divide both sides by 5, we get x equals negative 6. Solve 4x minus 2 equals 28. When we add 2 to both sides, we get 4x equals 30. And when we divide both sides by 4, we get x equals 7.5. Solve 3 times 2x plus 7 equals 12. When we expand the brackets, 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 7 is 21. When we subtract 21 from both sides, we get 6x equals negative 9. And when we divide both sides by 6, we get x equals negative 1.5. Solve the simultaneous equations. You must show all your working. First, let's label the given equations. We'll be using the elimination method. We want to eliminate y, so we multiply equation 1 by 3. This gives us 15x minus 6y equals 132, which we've labeled equation 3. Then we multiply equation 2 by 2. This gives us 4x plus 6y equals 20, which we've labeled equation 4. Now that we have minus 6y in equation 3 and 6y in equation 4, we can eliminate y by adding equation 3 to equation 4. This gives us 19x equals 152. When we divide both sides by 19, we get x equals 8. So now we can plug in the value of x into any of the equations to get y. If we pick equation 2, we have 2 times 8 plus 3y equals 10. 2 times 8 is 16. When we subtract 16 from both sides, we get 3y equals negative 6. And when we divide both sides by 3, we get y equals negative 2. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.